From the Daily Caller, Democrat-run sanctuary city quietly sending illegal immigrants to red state. And that's weird. I mean, why would they do that? Have they been dishonest recently? I thought they loved these people. They wanted these people. They rolled out the red carpet. They enrich the economy. It's kind of reminiscent of when some guys out in Texas put up sanctuary city billboards using the exact words of Democrat mayors. And then, of course, the Democrats got angry that somebody else was using their words, but obviously it's different when they say it. And, of course, they think we're all stupid. But my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It would help me a lot and it would cost you nothing. But if you wanted to help me even more and spend some money, you would buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, on Amazon.com. That link will be in the description. But they say, the self-described sanctuary city of Denver, Colorado is quietly paying for illegal immigrants to travel to Utah, according to Republican Utah Governor Spencer J. Cox. And didn't Eric Adams or Kickback Kathy Hochul decide they were going to put a whole bunch of illegals on buses to the Canadian border, and that didn't quite work out? Maybe I'm misremembering that. Without the approval or advanced knowledge of local officials, Denver has been paying for migrants to relocate to other places, including Utah, where approximately 2,000 have been sent. 2KUTV News reported Thursday. Cox said Friday, the practice is unacceptable and a result of the Biden administration's immigration policies. And of course, at this point, it's not even immigration. It's quite literally human trafficking. Denver has been overwhelmed by migrants in recent months and has been forced to make budget cuts due to the cost of accommodating the new arrivals. We recently learned that the Democrat mayor of Denver has been sending illegal immigrants to Utah without proper notification or approval. But why would he have to send proper notification? They showed up without proper notification or approval. Republican Utah Governor Spencer J. Cox wrote Friday on X. This is completely unacceptable and follows the failed catch and release policy of the Biden administration. Again, it's not quite failed. It's working exactly as they want it to. And then Bo Jiden comes out and says, we're going to stop. I mean, he's saying this, but I don't know who's actually making it up. And it's probably not even real anyways. But, the illegals we're not going to give them free stuff if they keep showing up illegally.
I'm here today to do what the Republicans in Congress refuse to do. Take the necessary steps to secure our border. Today I'm announcing actions to bar migrants who cross our southern border unlawfully from receiving asylum. Migrants will be restricted from receiving asylum at our southern border unless they seek it after entering through an established lawful process. And those who seek to come to the United States legally, for example, by making an appointment and coming to a port of entry, asylum will still be available to them, still available. But if an individual chooses not to use our legal pathways, if they choose to come without permission and against the law, they'll be restricted from receiving asylum and staying in the United States. This ban will remain in place until the number of people trying to enter illegally is reduced to a level that our system can effectively manage.
And that's probably not going to work, but that's how bad, I guess, the internal polling has been for him, that he has to come out and say, we're going to fix this problem, even though the people that you're pandering to don't like the idea of you stopping illegal immigration. It is a complete mess, as I've said a million times, but that's putting it nicely. Cox wrote that Utah's resources are completely depleted. His office told the Daily Caller News Foundation they learned about the city sending migrants on May 13th. And here's the quote. We recently learned that Democrat mayor of Denver has been sending illegal immigrants to Utah without proper notification or approval. You could just say sending illegal immigrants because it's already known that there's no approval or notification at all. Denver is paying travel costs to send migrants to Utah, even as the state, Salt Lake City, and Salt Lake County lack capacity to care for them. Yeah, but that's like using the assumption that they wanted to make this work and they were thinking 2 and 3 steps ahead when obviously it was just about destroying everything, demanding more money, throwing a couple pennies at the illegals and some junkies, and then pocketing the rest, right? 2 for you, 1 for me. Or should I say 2 for me, 1 for you. All 50 states including Utah, are now border states due to the failed immigration policies of President Biden and Congress, Cox continued. Once again, we call on the Biden administration and Congress to solve this crisis. And obviously they're not. This is a success for them, right? They're going to pretend to maybe appease some people, but you've painted yourself into a corner and there's really no way out. I mean, and that's why I've said over and over and over again, this is only going to boil down to whether or not voting is even real, because there's nobody left. It's only a couple of people in the mainstream media who I would venture don't even like Beau Biden in the administration, but they know what the job is. You lost the green hair Palestine people. You never had anybody on the right wing. There's nobody left. Maybe a couple people in their 70s who can't tell it's completely different because they are brainwashed by the talking head mainstream media, who don't realize that all of the real information is being disseminated via social media and no longer through the 3-letter broadcasting agencies. Denver city officials told Axios Friday the responsibility lies with Texas. What? The vast majority of but they wanted to sue to make sure that Texas stopped securing the border. But now it's Texas's fault that people are showing up, even though I could make the argument that they're also showing up in Arizona and California. But the vast majority of newcomers arriving in Denver do so on buses chartered from Texas and had no intention of ever coming to Denver. So there you have it once again. We're going to let all these people in, but they should go to red states, because eventually, and this is the long play, they're going to turn these places into purple states and eventually blue if they're lucky. But there's more. From California Insider, ACLU sues Biden administration over border asylum restrictions. So these people are quite literally demanding that you let them do whatever the hell it is they want. The ACLU is now suing because President Beau Biden is pretending that he's going to get tough on the border. Meanwhile, the Democratic-run states are sending illegals to red states, to Republican states. Why is that? They say the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, sued the Biden administration on June 12th after the president signed an executive order that limits the number of people who can apply for asylum at the southern border. And the ACLU is obviously completely compromised. They are a huge cog in this machine. And of course, there's the ACLU lawyer in Oakland who had her house shot up, but it doesn't matter. She's still a progressive. These policies work.
A criminal justice advocate in Oakland is speaking out about being caught in gun crossfire. ACLU attorney Alyssa Victoria says she's thankful for another day of life after a bullet went through 2 walls of her home last night while she and her family were inside. Victory posted photos of the aftermath on X. She tells KTVU this happened during a shootout just outside of her East Oakland home around 10:30 on Friday night. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Victory tells us that incidents like this are part of what inspired her to pursue a career in criminal justice law.
That's how deep the brainwashing is, right? I mean, it's at the point where the next best thing to cutting your junk off for the regime is to actually have your house shot up and still say, this makes sense. The advocacy group filed the lawsuit on behalf of 2 Texas-based organizations that work with immigrants. Immigrants or criminal illegals? Those are 2 different things. Las Americas Immigrant Advocacy Center and RACES, arguing that President Joe Biden's June 4th executive order differs little from similar action taken by the Trump administration that was blocked by the courts. So Beau Biden pretends to do something kind of like Trump, and the ACLU, who is hell-bent on destroying the country, says that's illegal. It is illegal to enforce laws on illegals, according to them. President Biden's executive order blocks the entry of non-citizens over the southern border after an average of 2,500 people per day for 7 consecutive days have already crossed due to the current high number of border crossings, roughly 4,000 daily. The restrictions became active after the order went into effect on June 5th. The restrictions stay in effect until 2 weeks after crossings drop below 1,500 per day through a 7-day average. The last time border crossings were that low was July 2020. Oh, interesting. So shortly after that, they skyrocketed. I wonder why. So look, the point is the ACLU, which is obviously completely compromised, decides that it is illegal, it is unconstitutional to enforce the laws of the United States and you got to let all these illegals in. Otherwise, you're committing the crime. This is what they do. They blame the cops, right? Even though the criminals are running roughshod, especially in Oakland, California, but it's never their fault. It's always the fault of the cops. It's never the fault of the illegals. It's always the fault of the Biden administration. I mean, that's how bad this infighting is. These people can't, and this is, maybe this is apples to oranges, of course, but it almost seems like somebody behind the curtain who shall not be named has actually bypassed the administration, which I guess is not doing particularly or exactly what they want. So they've skipped over him and gone to the court system and gone to the weird green hair losers and decided that they are going to be the ones to force the president to move even further left, even though, of course, it's not the president that's calling the shots and moving in any direction. So it's illegal to stop the illegal immigration. Meanwhile, the illegal immigrants in Democrat-run states are being sent to red states. And obviously, the hits just keep on coming. Before I could even finish editing this video, this article drops. Biden announces new policy shielding undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens from deportation. So you are going to protect the illegal spouses of actual U.S. citizens. When you get married to an American, doesn't that make you a citizen? I don't know. I believe this entire thing is made to completely muddy the waters and make it incredibly confusing to keep track of.
You wanted me to have a vasectomy. What did I do? And then, when you said that you might want to have kids and I wasn't so sure, who had the vasectomy reversed? And then when you said you definitely didn't want to have kids, who had it reversed back? Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
And also, sort of, I'm playing both sides. That way, I always come out on top.
This is because I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
And here are some headlines that I just screenshot and put on my Instagram, but it doesn't make any sense. Of course, the ACLU is suing because they're going to bat for illegals, whatever. But from 2021, Biden signs executive orders reversing Trump immigration policy, right? And then fast forward 3 years, June 3rd, 2024, Biden administration offering mass amnesty to thousands of migrants, illegals. Then, June 4th, 2024, Biden's sweeping restrictions take effect at midnight as he tackles a key political problem. So he reversed the Trump immigration policy, then gave amnesty to a whole bunch of illegals, then took action pretending that he was going to clamp down on the border and say that we're not going to give you free stuff if you show up illegally. Then, of course, he got sued, and then he decides that he's going to offer protections to the spouses of illegals. And this is the plan. We're not going to tell you what we plan to do. I don't know if they even have a plan of what they want to do. They're just going to muddy the waters so horribly that you can't keep track. And when you say A, they're going to say B. And when you say B, they're going to say A. And that way you're always wrong. The game is rigged.